goes for the towards we got another problem. We left it on Jeff's mind. It's gone. So. You go do that first.
And we didn't have Jeff Kurtzman in the beginning. A little microphone problem. Jeff, why don't you give it another try?
Okay, Lou, these are two teams, as you've mentioned, that are used to playing each other. This is the 5th time they're playing each other in the last 3 years. Last year, South River won the Central Jersey Group 1 championship with a victory against Highland Park, avenging a loss during the regular season. And the year before that, Keansburg was the state champion. This is the 4th time in 5 years that Keansburg has been in these playoffs, and their 3rd consecutive finals that they're in. And as far as South River, they've won 6 titles, Lou, since 1978. They've been a power in the Central Jersey Group 1.
Keansburg 10-0 on the season. They defeated Mater Dei in the on Thanksgiving 33-14, and then prior to that beat Shore Regional in the first round of the Central Jersey Group 1 playoffs to get to this championship. This town is fired up for this game, as you can hear in the background. They've been waiting for this contest a long time. Keansburg has been so powerful this year. Twice they have scored over 50 points in a game this season. Want to apologize right from the start, folks. I woke up this morning with a bad case of laryngitis, and as bad as it sounds right now, this is about the best it's sounded all day. It was much worse this morning, so maybe slowly but surely the pipes are coming back, and we'll keep our fingers crossed as the game goes along that I might get some of that voice back, Jeff.
One would only hope. And as far as this crowd, Lou, I'll tell you, we drove into town today, and everything is orange and blue. There's balloons all over this town. The Titan fans are behind this team. Bill Shea had 5 touchdowns in the state playoff game against Shore Regional. He had 295 yards rushing, and on this year, Lou, he's had 11 touchdowns of 42 yards or more. Very difficult to stop him.
The South River Rams are 8-2 on the year. They lost their first 2 games of the season, Jeff, uncharacteristically, and a lot of people in South River were saying, hey, what's wrong with the Rams? They lost to Burlington City 14-7, then lost to Blair Academy 19-15, but since then they've reeled off 8 consecutive victories, including their Central Jersey Group 1 semifinal win on the road against a very good Bernards team.
Bernards came in undefeated, and that was a 21-14 game. South River was actually trailing 14-7 and made a nice comeback. And to show you how good Bernards is, well, they won their conference this year. After losing that state playoff game, they went and defeated Whippany Park to bring in their conference championship. You're looking at 2 conference champions on the field today. South River 4-0 in the gold division of the GMC, and Keansburg 5-0 in the short conference C Division North.
Well, as you can tell by looking at the field on your picture, it is an absolutely miserable day for high school football, or for anything that you want to do for that matter. But this game is underway. South River kicks off. Right to left on your screen, Keansburg with the return, and the Titans will have the football across the 40-yard line. There is a penalty flag on the play. Keansburg is in their home blue jerseys with white numerals, the white helmets and white pants, and South River in the road white trimmed with maroon. The penalty will probably go against the Titans, and they'll back them up. The Keansburg offense, which has been astounding this year, looks like this. The center is Craig Iacuzzi, 5'8", 215. Joe Borquist and Jimmy Graham are the guards. Ron Bashy at 6'4", 275. And Bill Wallace, the other tackle. Anthony Iacuzzi, the tight end. Mike Travis is the wide receiver. Paul Kamal lines up at the other wide receiver spot. Nick Knapp and Billy Shea behind quarterback Tom Dura. It is first down and 10 for the Titans. Man goes in motion. That's Kamal. Dura gives it to Knapp, the fullback. He has a big gainer across the 50-yard line to the 45 and across the 40. A huge play on the first play of scrimmage for the Titans.
I'll tell you, Lou, to get 1,000 yards rushing is a big feat in high school football. Well, Keansburg's going to have 2 kids that do that this year. Billy Shea came into this game with 1,598 yards, And Nick Knapp, who we just saw run the ball so well, came in with 968 yards. You would think that with Billy Shea and all those yards, he would be the player that South River would key on. But that's not what they say. South River wants to stop Knapp. They don't want him to get 3 or 4 yards, much less big gains like he got on first down there.
Keansburg comes up in what they call the power option attack. Just to give you an idea what that's like, if you watch Nebraska football, that's pretty much what the Cornhuskers run. Here is Billy Shea, and he rips off a big run across the 35 and down near the 30-yard line. Shea, quite a player, senior, 5'11", 185. Here's the South River defense. It's a good defense. The defensive ends are Matt Saris, senior, 6 foot 185. Joe Young, a junior, 5'9", 175. Rafael Dominguez and Bill Pickett are the tackles, and Charlie Powell is the big nose guard at 6'2", 290. Santos, Chad Powell, and Anthony Galtieri are the outside, the linebackers. Colin and Perini are the corners, and Jonathan Harris, the safety. The give goes up the middle to the fullback Knapp, and that's a Keansburg first down inside the 25-yard line. Jeff, South River, if they've had one problem on that defense this year, it has been stopping the inside traps of the fullback. They have not been able to contain the fullback throughout the season. That could be a big problem today.
A huge problem with Knapp and his speed and size, and if they key on him, then they have Billy Shea. Very difficult to beat this team, and that's why Keansburg is 10-0 right now.
Dura carries the football on the option. He spins across the 15-yard line. Keansburg is running through the South River defense right now like a knife going through butter.
Dora also runs the ball well, as we saw there. He has 560 yards rushing on the year. He can throw the ball, as he's thrown for 371 yards. But as you've seen in these first 4 or 5 plays, Keansburg will be content, especially in this weather and this sloppy field, to keep it on the ground.
We are just underway, first quarter in the Central Jersey Group 1 championship game, and Keansburg is looking to score first on their initial drive. Tom Dura, the quarterback, has a full house backfield behind him. He gives the Knapp. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and then dropped. Bill Pickett makes the tackle for South River, but there is a penalty flag on the play, and that'll prompt South River. I'm Lou Brogno along with Jeff Kurtzman, and the big crowd here is assembled as the Keansburg marching band prepares to play our national anthem prior to the start of today's game.
Okay, guys, they're going to be doing the national anthem. Joe, you're on. Elio, give me some shots of the flag first. And I'm going to have you do a zoom out from there, hopefully. Did you hear anything?
Dave, whatever he was touching, it kind of worked.
I don't see shit down here.
That's it right there.
That's
Dave,
it, Joe.
Whatever he just did, I got a picture
Okay,
now.
shh. No talking.
Okay.
Okay, Elio, coming to you. Start zooming out. Marshall, give me some shots, please. Give me some shots. That's it. Some shots, Marshall. Some shots, some shots. Stand by to pan, Joe. Pan. I know you're back out. I know. This is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one, folks. Hey, Elio, stay there. 3. Start pulling out. Let's see the whole team. Nice and easy. Tilt up the hair. Good. Tilt up the hair.
And the big crowd ready for the game. Jeff Kurtzman, this should be a terrific football game. Two teams that know each other very well, despite the fact that they don't play in the same conferences. They've met each other several times over the last couple of years.
The 5th time that they've played each other in the last 2 years. The last 2 times in the playoffs, the winner of that game won the Central Jersey Group 1 State Playoff Championship. Last year, South River, with a 6-0 victory against Highland Park, ended up being the state champion. And the year before that, Keansburg, with their victory over South River, was the state champion. So yes, they're well used to seeing each other.
Where's Jeff? Bring it down. Oh, wait, hold on. Bring it up here.
The captains are getting ready to go out to midfield.
Lou, I don't have Jeff's mic. All of a sudden, check to make sure it's plugged in.
South River.
close for the Twins. We got another problem. They don't have Jeff's mic. It's gone. So. You go do that first.
And we didn't have Jeff Kurtzman in the beginning. A little microphone problem. Jeff, why don't you give it another try?
Okay, Lou, these are two teams, as you've mentioned, that are used to playing each other. This is the 5th time they're playing each other in the last 3 years. Last year, South River won the Central Jersey Group 1 championship with a victory against Highland Park, avenging a loss during the regular season. And the year before that, Keansburg was the state champion. This is the 4th time in 5 years that Keansburg has been in these playoffs, and their 3rd consecutive finals that they're in. And as far as South River, they've won 6 titles, Lou, since 1978. They've been a power in the Central Jersey Group 1.
Keansburg 10-0 on the season. They defeated Mater Dei in the on Thanksgiving 33-14, and then prior to that beat Shore Regional in the first round of the Central Jersey Group 1 playoffs to get to this championship. This town is fired up for this game, as you can hear in the background. They've been waiting for this contest a long time. Keansburg has been so powerful this year. Twice they have scored over 50 points in a game this season. Want to apologize right from the start, folks. I woke up this morning with a bad case of laryngitis, and as bad as it sounds right now, this is about the best it's sounded all day. It was much worse this morning, so maybe slowly but surely the pipes are coming back, and we'll keep our fingers crossed as the game goes along that I might get some of that voice back, Jeff.
One would only hope. And as far as this crowd, Lou, I'll tell you, we drove into town today, and everything is orange and blue. There's balloons all over this town. The Titan fans are behind this team. Bill Shea had 5 touchdowns in the state playoff game against Shore Regional. He had 295 yards rushing, and on this year, Lou, he's had 11 touchdowns of 42 yards or more. Very difficult to stop him.
The South River Rams are 8-2 on the year. They lost their first 2 games of the season, Jeff, uncharacteristically, and a lot of people in South River were saying, hey, what's wrong with the Rams? They lost to Burlington City 14-7, then lost to Blair Academy 19-15, but since then they've reeled off 8 consecutive victories, including their Central Jersey Group 1 semifinal win on the road against a very good Bernards team.
Bernards came in undefeated, and that was a 21-14 game. South River was actually trailing 14-7 and made a nice comeback. And to show you how good Bernards is, well, they won their conference this year. After losing that state playoff game, they went and defeated Whippany Park to bring in their conference championship. You're looking at 2 conference champions on the field today. South River 4-0 in the gold division of the GMC, and Keansburg 5-0 in the short conference C Division North.
Well, as you can tell by looking at the field on your picture, it is an absolutely miserable day for high school football, or for anything that you want to do for that matter. But this game is underway. South River kicks off. Right to left on your screen, Keansburg with the return, and the Titans will have the football across the 40-yard line. There is a penalty flag on the play. Keansburg is in their home blue jerseys with white numerals, the white helmets and white pants, and South River in the road white trimmed with maroon. The penalty will probably go against the Titans, and they'll back them up. The Keansburg offense, which has been astounding this year, looks like this. The center is Craig Iacuzzi, 5'8", 215. Joe Borquist and Jimmy Graham are the guards. Ron Bashy at 6'4", 275. And Bill Wallace, the other tackle. Anthony Iacuzzi, the tight end. Mike Travis is the wide receiver. Paul Kamal lines up at the other wide receiver spot. Nick Knapp and Billy Shea behind quarterback Tom Dura. It is first down and 10 for the Titans. Man goes in motion. That's Kamal. Dura gives it to Knapp, the fullback. He has a big gainer across the 50-yard line to the 45 and across the 40. A huge play on the first play of scrimmage for the Titans.
I'll tell you, Lou, to get 1,000 yards rushing is a big feat in high school football. Well, Keansburg's going to have 2 kids that do that this year. Billy Shea came into this game with 1,598 yards, And Nick Knapp, who we just saw run the ball so well, came in with 968 yards. You would think that with Billy Shea and all those yards, he would be the player that South River would key on. But that's not what they say. South River wants to stop Knapp. They don't want him to get 3 or 4 yards, much less big gains like he got on first down there.
Keansburg comes up in what they call the power option attack. Just to give you an idea what that's like, if you watch Nebraska football, that's pretty much what the Cornhuskers run. Here is Billy Shea, and he rips off a big run across the 35 and down near the 30-yard line. Shea, quite a player, senior, 5'11", 185. Here's the South River defense. It's a good defense. The defensive ends are Matt Saris, senior, 6 foot 185. Joe Young, a junior, 5'9", 175. Rafael Dominguez and Bill Pickett are the tackles, and Charlie Powell is the big nose guard at 6'2", 290. Santos, Chad Powell, and Anthony Galtieri are the outside, the linebackers. Colin and Perini are the corners, and Jonathan Harris the safety. The give goes up the middle to the fullback Knapp, and that's a Keansburg. First down inside the 25-yard line. Jeff, South River, if they've had one problem on that defense this year, it has been stopping the inside traps of the fullback. They have not been able to contain the fullback throughout the season, and that could be a big problem today.
A huge problem with Knapp and his speed and size, and if they key on him, then they have Billy Shea. Very difficult to beat this team, and that's why Keansburg is 10-0 right now.
Dura carries the football on the option. He spins across the 15-yard line. Keansburg is running through the South River defense right now like a knife going through butter.
Dora also runs the ball well, as we saw there. He has 560 yards rushing on the year. He can throw the ball, as he's thrown for 371 yards. But as you've seen in these first 4 or 5 plays, Keansburg will be content, especially in this weather and this sloppy field, to keep it on the ground.
We are just underway, first quarter in the Central Jersey Group 1 championship game, and Keansburg is looking to score first on their initial drive. Tom Dura, the quarterback, has a full house backfield behind him. He gives the Knapp. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and then dropped. Bill Pickett makes the tackle for South River, but there is a penalty flag on the play, and that'll probably back the Titans up.
Making a stop, flag on the play.
Wait for the officials' call. It is holding against Keansburg, so that'll push the Titans back. Keansburg and South River have been in this championship game, or at least have met in the playoffs the last several years. In 1994, the Titans won the championship over South River, and then last year, South River brought the trophy back to their town as they won last year the championship, knocking Keansburg out in the semifinals.
Yeah, last year was a 20-13 game, and the year before that, Keansburg won 7-0. And then in 94 and 95, they played during the regular season, both low-scoring, close games. 14-7 victory for South River in 94, and 15-6 South River was the victor in 95.
Second down and 9 for Keansburg, and they mark the ball at the 26. The give is to Shea, and he has a couple, not much. Hit by Ricky Santos, the sophomore outside linebacker.
In the first round playoff game, Bill Shea, on the first 2 times that he touched the ball from scrimmage, had long touchdown runs of 51 and 60 yards. What you have to do to stop Shea, and it's easier said than done, you cannot let him break through the line of scrimmage, because once he gets open past that original line of scrimmage, he's very difficult to bring down.
It's a 3rd and 9 for Keansburg. Man goes in motion, and now the give is to Shea. Billy Shea is hit, and he will be gang tackled at the 20-yard line. Not much there for Shea. He's hit by Jonathan Harris, and a big play by the strong safety for the Rams. Now Keansburg faced with a 4th down and about 7.
37-yard field goal if that's the route that they would go, but certainly with this sloppy field, you don't expect that to happen. Most teams would put the ball up in the air, needing 7 yards. We'll see what John Schulteis comes up here on this big, early 4th down play.
8.5 remaining here in this first quarter. Keansburg and South River, no score. Titans on the option. The pitch to Shea. He's hit and driven out of bounds. He did not get there. A very good defensive play coming up to make the tackle. Anthony Colon, the left corner.
short of the first down marker.
So South River holds on defense, and the Rams take over on downs. Here's a look at the South River offense. It's an offense that really has come along the last several weeks. The center is Matt Saris, Charlie Powell, and Paul Kendrick are the guards. Rafael Dominguez and Bill Pickett the tackles, and Michael Paulowski is the big tight end, 6'5", 185. Jonathan Harris is one wide receiver. He sometimes will line up in the backfield. Cologne is the flanker. Joe Young and Chad Powell behind Bobby Young. Young 5'9", a junior, 175. He's in the shotgun formation and looks to throw. Fires outside, but the ball is dropped. That's a play that's got to be made. Ricky Santos cannot hang on. It'll bring up a second down and 10. Here is the Keansburg defense. It's a defense which has been spectacular this year, giving up less than a touchdown per game. As you look at the offense, Joe Borquist and Anthony Iacuzzi are the defensive ends. Craig Iacuzzi and Jimmy Graham the tackles. The linebackers extremely active. Billy Shea, Nick Knapp, and Brian Royal. The corners are Tom Dura and Paul Kamal, and Doug Fetter and Tom Stanzione are the safeties for the Big Blue defense. It is second down and 10. Here is the give to Powell. He tries to cut, makes a nice play actually to get what he did, but then Dura comes over to make the tackle along with Knapp. It'll be very difficult today, Jeff, to do any kind of cutting or do any kind of open field running successfully. The field is not in good shape with the weather that we've had this week. And of course it is raining right now, and the forecast is for heavy rain later in the game.
Tell you, Lou, last year we did the Central Jersey Finals, and I thought it was a lot worse last year. The field last year was frozen. The wind was blowing 50 miles an hour, and South River was victorious. We'll see what happens today.
Young lets it fly. It is nearly intercepted. Intended for Anthony Cologne, and back there was Doug Fetter. He had an opportunity to pick it.
Bobby Young, usually a very accurate passer. This time the ball probably slipped out of his hand. A ball that should have been brought down by Keansburg, but unfortunately for them, Fetter couldn't catch it.
So South River will punt. The Rams drop back into punt formation. Keansburg figures to get tremendous field position out of this. Bobby Young also does the punting for South River. Billy Shea and Tom Dura are deep. It is blocked by the Titans inside the 10-yard line. They will have a first and goal. Big play. Brian Royal was the man who got in and hit the football.
One of the three big linebackers, Royal, with the block, giving Keansburg awesome field position here in the first quarter.
So Keansburg has a first down and goal at the 8-yard line. Let's see if the Titans can cash in on the first big break of the game. 7:20 remaining first quarter in the Central Jersey Championship game. Keansburg with a first and goal at the 8. A full house backfield to give us to Shea. He puts his head down, is hit at about the line of scrimmage and dropped. Not much room there for Billy Shea as South River comes up nicely. Santos and Matt Saris combine on the tackle.
A slow-moving play there, Lou. Dora just couldn't get the ball to Shea quickly enough, in my opinion, and that's why he got wrapped up.
He might have picked up a yard, so it brings up a second down and goal at the 7. Keansburg had a nice initial drive, but South River took over on downs. Now the block punt gives the Titans a great opportunity. The give is to the fullback, Knapp. He breaks a tackle, and he slides inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line. Chad Powell, the middle linebacker, on the tackle.
So far, the Ram defense is doing the job here on this drive, plus the end of the last drive. Keansburg trying to run it up the gut, but right now they're unsuccessful. The defensive line of South River is controlling that offensive line of Keansburg right now, and that hasn't been done very often this year.
South River, a tough ball club, a team that has a misleading record, 8-2, but they have won 8 in a row. They are on fire. Keansburg knows they'll have their handful today. Here's Dura on the option. He's hit, breaks away at the 3. He dives in, but I don't think he got there. Looks like he's brought down at about the 1-yard line. A very nice run by the Keansburg quarterback. You know, Dura has 560 yards rushing this year and 5 touchdowns rushing the football.
Brings up 4th down here from the 1-yard line. Look for Billy Shea to get the ball. Although they could give it to Knapp, the big fullback, but I would give it to Billy Shea. He's the guy who's brought you here this year. He's got 25 touchdowns on the year, averages 199 all-purpose yards per game. That's who I'd hand the ball to.
Keansburg fans are on their feet. Dura quarterback sneak. He powers his way in. Touchdown, Keansburg.
Good surge there by Dora on the quarterback sneak. When you don't need much yardage, you just put your big offensive line in front of the quarterback and push. They needed a yard, and that's what Dora got as they go for the PAT and try and go up 7-0.
Dura holds. Joe marks the kick. The kick is up. It is no good. It is wide to the left. And so the Titans have a 6-0 lead with 5:11 remaining here in this first quarter. A break in the action. Keansburg 6, South River nothing.
Last year's big blizzard. This winter, be prepared. See your Toro dealer before we get hit by another big one.
Welcome back to Keansburg, where it is raining, it is cold, and generally rotten outside. But the Titans lead it by the score of 6-0, so all is well for the Titan fans at the moment. Let's see if that extra point missed, Jeff, comes back to haunt Keansburg. South River will get the ball now as Keansburg kicks off from the 40. High kick that is taken by Jonathan Harris. He is a very dangerous kick returner. He is hit, though, and brought down across the 35-yard line, and South River will put it in play there. 5 minutes and 2 seconds remaining here in this first quarter, and the Titans have drawn first blood after they capitalized on the block punt.
They need Jonathan Harris, South River does, to do something for this offense to do well today. He's the second cousin of Drew Pearson, and Joe Policastro, the coach for Highland Park, compares him to Eric Young and to Kenny Jackson, 2 former players from this conference who completely dominated games offensively.
Bobby Young in the shotgun formation. He throws across the middle, incomplete. Got a little bit of pressure. With that pass, not close. It's got to be a very difficult day to throw the football.
Incomplete.
That's why you have to figure that Keansburg might have a little bit of an advantage today. 1, that they're home. 2, they have the crowd. But 3, when you can run the ball, you have a big advantage on a sloppy turf like this.
It is 2nd and 10 for South River. The ball is marked just across the 25-yard line. Mark at the 26. 1 setback behind Young, and he gives nothing there. They hand it off to Chad Powell, who has over 1,000 yards rushing himself, 1,152 on the year, but he's hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped, and it brings up a 3rd and 10.
No gain on the play.
Look for Jonathan Harris to try and get open and pull down a pass here on 3rd down. He has 23 receptions, by far the most of any South River receiver. He has 10 touchdowns on the year, 6 through the air, 2 on the ground, 1 on a kickoff return, and 1 on a punt return.
Young comes up under center this time. Now he looks to throw, lets it fly, and it's nearly picked off. They were looking to set up a little pass across the middle to the flanker, Anthony Colon, but that pass was high, and now South River has to kick again.
Bobby Young has no protection right now. He's forced to get rid of the ball before he would like to, and his receivers are having trouble getting downfield on this sloppy field.
Billy Shea and Tom Dura go back deep for Keansburg, and Bobby Young goes in punt formation. It's a high booming kick at Shea. Let's drop. It takes a good South River bounce, and it drops dead at about the 36-yard line. So that's where Keansburg will put it in play. Titans already lead by the score of 6-0. Well, we said, you've got two outstanding teams here today, and of course, great programs with outstanding coaches. John Schulteis, the coach at Keansburg, has done a tremendous job over the last 5 years since he's been here. The Titans have been a playoff contender or in the playoffs just about every season. And of course, Rich Marchese at South River has just done a stellar job with the Rams and taking over one of the storied high school football programs in the state. Nick Knapp gets the handoff, and he struggles up the middle to pick up a couple as he gets across the 35-yard line up near the 37. Maybe he picked up a yard.
Tell you, Lou, both of these coaches coming back to their alma maters, and they both had success as far as players also. Schulteis was a player on the 1976 Central Jersey champions Keansburg team, and Marchese was on the 1977 and 78 Central Jersey Group 2 teams for South River. So not only can they coach, but they were both good players.
The rain has picked up in intensity here in the second quarter as Dura runs the option, looks to get outside, and this time he won't get there. The ball might be loose. Let's see. South River says they have it, and no call yet. They do. South River has recovered the fumble in Keansburg territory, and the Rams now have an opportunity to take advantage.
Well, Keansburg took advantage of the turnover that they picked up on the block punt, bringing it in from the 8-yard line on 4th down and 1. Now it's up to South River. South River has done nothing offensively. The field conditions and the Keansburg defense have stymied them so far, but now with good field position, as we see Coach Rich Marchese cheering his team on, South River must get something going here.
First down and 10. The Rams with an opportunity. They fake the reverse, and Powell goes up the sidelines. Chad Powell cuts it inside the 25, and he's down near the 20-yard line.
Good play there and a good fake. It sure looked like it was going to be a double reverse, but Powell kept it himself. Goes over 1,200 yards now for the year and brings South River down to great field position.
23-yard line.
The ball sits at the 23. It is first down and 10 for South River as the Rams look to tie the game up or perhaps take the lead on this drive. Powell gets the handoff. He's hit and dragged down at the line of scrimmage. Graham makes the tackle for the Titans.
And Royal and Craig Iacuzzi.
A short pickup of about a yard, and it will bring up 2nd and 9.
Gain of about a yard, sets up 2nd and 9 near the 22.
Young looks to throw, has time, lays it in, and is nearly intercepted, and it is intercepted. Tipped in the end zone and picked off by Dura. Looked like Stanzione might have been the man to get his hand on the ball, and then Dura gets it on the deflection.
Good coverage there on the zone. It looked like for a second that pass would be open, but the zone collapsed, and Dura with the big interception stops this South River drive. We've now had 3 turnovers, and we're still in the first quarter.
And Keansburg has the football. It was not intercepted in the end zone. It looked like it was picked off at about the 3-yard line. So Keansburg has a long way to go. It's first down and 10 at their own 3 or 4. Here is Knapp up the middle. The fullback is ahead of the field. He's at the 50, to the 40, to the 30. He is tackled from behind at the South River 25-yard line.
Amazing, Lou, how quickly a game can turn around. Looks like South River is driving to try and take the lead, but then with the interception, at least it looks like they'll pin the Keansburg offense really deep. So on first down, 97 yards away from Paybert, a simple play, they give it to Knapp, and he almost breaks it, bringing it into the territory of South River.
Rich Marchese, the head coach of South River, said this week he feared the fullback Knapp, and his words are becoming very prophetic right now.
He feared the 3, 4, 5-yard runs, but I don't know if he expected a run of over 60 yards.
Here's the give to Knapp. This time he's hit hard and dropped. Not much yardage that time, but that last run, which went down to the 22-yard line. See how good my math is here, Jeff.
75.
75. That's about as far as you'll see a fullback run.
That's a good game for most runners, and he did it on one play. They just took Knapp out, and the crowd gave him a really good cheer, and they deserved it.
1 minute remaining. Also, hey, the offensive line at the point of attack. What a hole. Here's the give to Shea. He is hit, dropped. South River has Billy Shea's number here in this first quarter. You can tell by the way they're playing him, they are keying on Shea.
Anthony Colon with a nice hit right there. And I've never seen a team bottle Billy Shea up like the South River defense has done so far. Third down and 12.
30 seconds remaining here in this first quarter, and Keansburg leads 6-0 in the Central Jersey Group 1 championship game. Dura gives to Shea. He has a hole momentarily, but then he's hit, and he is driven out of bounds. A little extra push there by Cologne. Keansburg fans don't particularly like it, but no flag is thrown.
Good pursuit right there. Excellent gang tackling by the left side of the South River defense as the first quarter comes to an end.
And that is the end of the first quarter of play. The score after one, Keansburg 6, South River nothing. You're watching the Central Jersey Group 1 Championship on TKR Sports. To begin the second quarter, and Keansburg leads it by the score of 6-0 in the championship game. Dura throws to the tight end Iacuzzi over the middle, and that could be enough for a Keansburg first down. A great call on fourth down. Anthony Iacuzzi, the senior tight end, makes the catch. A very nicely designed play, and it is a first down. Jeff, I'm sorry.
You're right, that was a great play. Nobody expected anything but a handoff because that's all Keansburg has been doing so far. Iacuzzi wide open, brought the ball down, and with his surge, picked up the 12 yards that he needed to keep the drive going.
First down, give to Knapp. He is in. Touchdown, Keansburg.
Knapp makes it look easy, whether it's a 75-yard jaunt or an 8-yard jaunt. Very difficult to bring him down. He has good speed, but good size also as he gets down low, brings it in, and puts his team up 12-0 here early in the second quarter.
Let's see if the Titans now go for two. They do line up to go for two. They have a full house backfield behind Dura. He hands to Shea. Billy Shea, he slides in close. He fumbled the ball. South River picks it up. And they thwart the two-point conversion. But there is a break in the action with 11:35 remaining second quarter. The score, Keansburg 12 and South River nothing. audible Lou Brogno, a very inaudible Lou Brogno, if you will, and Jeff Kurtzman alongside. We're hanging tough, and for those of you just joining us, I apologize once again, folks. Woke up this morning and a little case of laryngitis. Not a little case, Jeff, big case of laryngitis. But we're trying to hang in there. Keansburg leads 12-0. South River is in trouble right now, Jeff. They need to do something offensively. They're on the verge of getting blown out. It is 12-0, and the Rams need a big play. Here is Cologne. He has the football, and he is brought down. A nice run back as he gets across the 35-yard line. So South River has decent field position to start this drive.
They've had trouble passing the ball. Bobby Young's an excellent passer, but he has no protection, and until they can block for him, it's going to be very difficult for him to pass. And if he can't pass, that makes it difficult to run. Chad Powell's had a couple nice runs, but for the most part, the Keansburg defense has shut down South River as they tried to run the ball.
Here's the give, nothing. Hit in the backfield and smashed was Powell. He was hit by Jimmy Graham. Graham is a senior. He has 65 tackles on the year, an outstanding defensive lineman.
Easy to key on Powell also, Lou, because if they can't pass the ball, just key on the best runner that they have, that being Powell, and force somebody else to beat them. Jonathan Harris, a great player, but unless they can get him the ball through the air, he's not going to hurt this Keansburg defense.
Keansburg fans want some defense. Young sets up a screen. He throws over the middle, a dangerous play. The catch made by Joe Young, the fullback, and he caught the ball in the middle of about 3 or 4 blue shirts.
Exactly. Everything had to go perfectly for that play to work, and you still only pick up 5 yards and need to pick up 5 more or risk having to punt the ball away right now. Keansburg's defense is just so tough, giving Bobby Young so little time, so they figured they'd let all the guys just come through and then throw the screen, but even that didn't fool the Titan D.
Titans are up 12-0 with a 3rd down and about 5. Young looks to throw. He is in trouble. Billy Shea had the first shot. Now Young tries to get out of there. There should have been a clip on South River as Young picks up pretty good yardage, picks up about 2 or 3. He'll be short of the first down. There was a clip that was not called. So a break for the Rams. However, it is 4th down and 1, and Rich Marchese says, we're going to go. South River lines up to go for it on 4th down with the ball at the 42-yard line. This is a gambling play for the Rams. Now they shift out of their initial formation. Young trying to draw Keansburg offside, I think, and the Titans aren't going to bite for this.
And then they'll take the delay of the game penalty and then punt the ball away. Good discipline there by Keansburg. The crowd into this game, and now it'll be 4th down and 6, and instead of Bobby Young being the quarterback, Bobby Young will now be the punter, and Keansburg will get the ball back.
That's an interesting call by South River. Keansburg, though, too disciplined to jump for something like that. Now South River will have to punt, although...
Yeah, Bobby Young always does that, Lou. He starts as if he's the quarterback, and then he drops back to punt.
He'll kick. Very good kick by Young. Line drive, fielded at the 30. And Dura brings it back across the 40-yard line to the 42. You don't see your quarterback or running back punts too often, but Dura, Mr. Durable, if you will, and he gets the ball back across the 40 and gives Keansburg outstanding field position. Temperature in the low 40s, and the temperature is supposed to drop as we progress throughout the day. This rain has been a steady rain since before the game, and a little earlier there was even a little snow mixing in there, Jeff, as if things couldn't get worse out there, right?
and it will get worse tonight. We're going to get some snow down here at the Bayshore in Monmouth County, but we will not get that right now because it's too warm.
Here's the give to Knapp. Another huge, oh, look at Knapp. He breaks 2 tackles and gets across the 50-yard line into South River territory. He is just murdering South River right now.
Robert Perini finally bringing him down. You mentioned to me as we were discussing this game beforehand that Knapp would be the star on just about every single team in our viewing area. Unfortunately for him, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, he's got Billy Shea on that team, and Shea has got most of the accolades. But so far in this game, you can see how good Knapp is.
I formation for Keansburg as the Titans come up at the 47. Dura barking the signals. Man goes in motion. Hand off to Shea. Hit and dropped. A very, very good defensive play by the left defensive end, Matt Saris, who blasted by his block. He destroyed that play and came in and hit Shea.
Matt Saris wearing that number 56 and playing like Lawrence Taylor on that play stopped Billy Shea for a loss. I'll tell you, they are keying on Shea and doing a phenomenal job on him. Now they have to worry about Knapp.
Second down and about 14 as Shea was hit for a 4-yard loss. Ball right at midfield. Dura goes down. He tried to make the cut and just unable to do so. Covering up on the play was Charlie Powell. You don't want to be on the ground when big Charlie Powell comes in and hits you. 6'2", 290.
Loss of 3 sets up 3rd and so 3rd and 16 back near the 46.
I know.
And timeout is called. Keansburg wants to talk it over with 7:24 remaining. We'll take a break and be back in a moment. Keansburg 12. Had things their way here in this first half so far.
They really have. And as far as Keansburg is concerned, this is probably the least dominant that they've been almost all year long, which shows how great their team is. They've turned the ball over once, and Billy Shea has been stopped. But despite all that, they have a 12-0 lead. Now we'll have to see what they can come up with here on 4th down. Dora's going to have to put the ball up in the air if they want to keep this drive going.
3rd down and about 16. Shea goes in motion. He lines up now on a wide receiver slot, and Dura sends him way out, but they hand it off to Knapp. Dura sent Shea out to the wide receiver slot on the left side. Billy lined up, and Dura told him to keep going out, and he wasn't involved in the play whatsoever.
The classic decoy.
Yeah.
Gives it to Knapp, who picks up a couple yards, and 4th down, and now we'll see a punt.
Billy Shea will punt for Keansburg. Anthony Iacuzzi is a little hobbled. He comes off the field.
Hang in there, son. Shea on the punt for Keansburg. Malone and Harris, the twin safeties for the Rams.
Shea looked like he was going to run with the ball at first, but then he boots one deep into South River territory. It's inside the 20-yard line, drops dead at about the 18, and so the Rams will put it in play at that point.
South River 17. A 34-yard punt with no return. Snap of the ball will be
6:44 remaining, first half of the Central Jersey Group 1 Championship, and Keansburg leads 12-0. Big crowd on hand on both sides. South River fans made the trek down. That's a great football town, just as is Keansburg. And, of course, Keansburg with their normal huge crowd on hand. Here's the give, and running hard is Chad Powell. He picks up a couple, short pickup of about 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. So despite the nasty weather, boy, the fans have come out to see the game here today.
An hour before the game, the Keansburg side was already filled. South River was a late arriving crowd, but certainly their side is completely packed. Plus, if you look around the field, there's a fence completely around the field, and there's people standing everywhere around the field.
This is one of the few playoff games that's being held at the site of one of the teams involved. Of course, many of the games are being played up at Giant Stadium. This weekend, there are a number of games being played at the College of New Jersey, which is the old Trenton State College. And so there are very few games being played at home sites. So the Keansburg fans have the opportunity to come here and see the game on their home field.
You know, Lou, I sat down and figured it out. There's 20 games this weekend. There's 11 at Giant Stadium, and there's 3 at the College of New Jersey. That means there's 6 games total at home sites. And what that means is that all of the Group 1 schools are playing at home, which is 4 games, and 2 of the Group 2. It's almost not fair that just because you don't have a big enrollment and can't get a lot of power points that you don't get to play at Giant Stadium.
I would agree, Jeff. I think that what they need to do is give the teams the option. Everyone should have the opportunity to play there. I know they have time constrictions trying to get the games in. Here is the give off tackle. Powell has a first down for South River. But just to finish my thought, Jeff, you know, they moved the Mendham game to Thursday night at Giant Stadium. If they can play that game on a Thursday night, why can't they play some of the other games, play them on a Wednesday or a Thursday night, to give everybody a chance to play up there if they so desire?
I agree. Yeah, they moved the Mendham-Dover game because that was supposed to be at the College of New Jersey, and both schools in Morris County said, why should we go all the way down to South Jersey when the Meadowlands is so close? And this year, and I guess they planned it that way, the Jets and Giants are both away this weekend, which gives them the opportunity to play a lot of games there. But you're right, all 20 should be played there.
Handoff goes off tackle. Jonathan Harris carries the football, and he has pretty good yardage. He picks up about 6 on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 4. So South River now beginning to get their ground game in gear.
And Luke, getting back to that one point one more time, if they don't want to play all the games at Giant Stadium or at the College of New Jersey, well, what they should do is next year give the 4 Group 1 schools and the 2 Group 2s that didn't have the opportunity this year, whoever wins those groups, give them the first opportunity. So at least every other year you get to play at Giant Stadium.
Not a bad point, Jeff. Here is the give off tackle. Not much. Chad Powell carries the football, and he's hit by Nick Knapp. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Rams.
On the other hand, I'm sure the people from Keansburg are happy that they could just pull out of their front yard and within a mile or 2 be to this football game today. So there's 2 sides to everything. South River here with 3rd down. Lou needs to get something going offensively.
Hand off to Harris. He breaks a tackle, puts his head down. He's close to first down yardage. They may have to measure. That was a nice run by Jonathan Harris. He was hit initially behind the line of scrimmage, and he pushed forward enough to get the first down. Well, the Rams on a nice little drive here with 4:43 remaining 2nd quarter. Man goes in motion, and the give is to Chad Powell. Billy Shea holds on and finally makes the tackle, but that's another big run by the Rams up front. Right now, South River is controlling the line of scrimmage between the tackles.
That's all well and good, but what South River has to do is put some points on the board. Plenty of time left here in this 2nd quarter. 4 minutes remaining. South River, trailing by these 2 scores, would love to be able to put some points on the board and only be down by 1 score at halftime.
Pitch goes to Harris. Jonathan Harris turns the corner. He's got good yardage down the sidelines. Harris is on his way. He's at the 20 to the 10. Touchdown, South River.
And you mentioned it, Lou. South River's moving the ball, and I said they had to bring it in. And so the next play, Harris certainly takes care of that, running more than 50 yards and putting his team on the board. With a successful PAT here, they'll be less than one score behind Keansburg.
The Rams are right back in the game, and they will line up for the extra point with 3:40 remaining here, second quarter. It is 12-6. South River calls a timeout, so the Rams want to talk it over. Now, Jeff, they want to talk about the possibility of going for two, but you're only trailing by 6 points. It's interesting. I mean, I would think that you would just kick here.
I would think so also, unless they don't feel comfortable kicking the ball. But Bobby Young is a good kicker, and more times than not, when he puts his foot to it, he's going to get you that point. I don't think there's any question they should just go for the one.
We mentioned that this has been a great rivalry, if you will, despite the fact that they don't play in the same conferences. Over the last couple of years, South River and Keansburg have met 4 times since 1994. Now, South River has won 3 of those 4 meetings.
Well, TKR was here a few weeks ago for the Keyport-Keansburg game, and the Keyport fans wanted this team. They wanted South River, and they got their wish. Right now, it looks like they're going to go for the 2 points, which surprises us both.
And now a flag as one of the outside receivers moved. That'll make them go back more yardage. Now it becomes even more difficult to go for 2.
Yeah, now they'll need 8 yards for those 2 points, and I would kick it, but we'll have to wait and see what South River comes up with.
South River's great tradition of football. Of course, you know, Kenny Jackson played there. Joe Theismann played there. They've had great players over the years, great teams over the years. In the last 20 years or so, they have been incredible. 6 championships, 10 playoffs since 1974, Jeff. Here is Young in trouble, down. Big defensive play coming in is Brian Royal, who has been one of the defensive stars so far today for the Titans.
Yeah, since 1974, which was the advent of the postseason play here in New Jersey, to go 10 times, that shows how great your program is.
So South River are back in the game. They trail 12-6. It's under 4 minutes remaining, second quarter.
Skating. Play it fast.
So far, Keansburg 2 touchdowns, and South River coming back nicely. Jonathan Harris on the long touchdown run to get the Rams right back in the game. Bobby Young will kick it off. Line drive kick that bounces, set up at the 15-yard line. And Keansburg will get it across the 30. Joe Marks carries the football back for the Titans.
Upfield to the 34.
Marks, one of the younger players on the team. He'll be back here next year. Keansburg will not have a lot of returning players. In fact, almost all their players will be graduating. All the starters will be graduating this year. So it's kind of, this is the year that the Titans have been pointing to. And quite frankly, many of the fans have said that, and the players, anything less than a championship would be a disappointment. They expect to win it.
Official timeout.
It'll be first down and 10, Keansburg. By the way, I want to thank the Keansburg Booster Club, who runs the Keansburg concession stand. Always do a great job down here for supplying our crew with hot dogs and soda before the game. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Here's the give to Billy Shea. He's hit, struggling. Oh, look at Shea. Carries about 5 South River players with him for a 3-yard gain.
And foul. On the stop.
Once again, though, bottled up. He did the best he could to pick up 3 yards. But Rick Marchese, his team is gang tackling and watching and doing a great job so far on Billy Shea.
Take a look at those uniforms out there. They are getting pretty muddy at this point. By the fourth quarter, it'll be difficult to see these guys. Their numbers for sure. 2nd down and 6. Knapp, a huge hole. He's ahead of the field again. Jonathan Harris is the only man that can bring him down, and he does.
Taylor, when Rich Marchese said he had to worry about Knapp more than Shea, I didn't believe what he was saying. But I'll tell you, he's made a believer of me today. Nick Knapp is finding these holes, and when he breaks through, he's got unbelievable yardage. I think the difference between him and Shea today is that they're putting 3, 4, 5 people on Shea, and they're not worrying enough about Knapp. Now, Keansburg has excellent field position and plenty of time to try and tack that 3rd score on before halftime.
Billy Shea up the middle. He's hit and picks up a couple. Short yardage. Charlie Powell on the tackle for South River. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. The ball is at the 26-yard line with 2:15 remaining first half, and Keansburg leading 12-6. Dura on the option, hit and dropped. Jonathan Harris in to make the tackle.
Great pursuit there by Harris. Dora, an elusive runner, running the option here, was brought down by Harris for probably no gain whatsoever and brings up 3rd down.
So the Titans will have a 3rd down and 9 as they mark the ball at the 26-yard line.
Keansburg using as much time as they can, because if they're unsuccessful on this drive, they certainly don't want to give South River any opportunities to try and put some points on here.
Inside handoff to Knapp, and not this time. South River comes in and plays it beautifully. Bill Pickett, big defensive tackle, 6'2", 235, in to make the play.
Brings up another 4th down. This time, almost 10 yards are necessary to keep the drive going, as we have less than a minute remaining here in the 2nd quarter.
55 seconds and counting down. Keansburg has the football at the South River 28. Dura on the option, and he goes down. He tried to cut back, and as he tried to cut, he slipped down. Ricky Santos was the man who forced the play in. And it brings up a 1st down for South River as they take over on downs with 30 seconds left in the first half. Keansburg 12. And South River 6. We've got ourselves quite a football game as we head to the second half for this Group 1 state championship. And Young takes a knee, so South River will go into the locker room trailing by a touchdown. Keansburg
And this will set up 2nd and 12.
with 2 touchdowns in the first half. Nick Knapp and Dura going across after the blocked punt. Jonathan Harris with the long touchdown run for South River gets the Rams back into the game. And that is the end of the first half. 1 half of football gone by in the Central Jersey Group 1 final. Keansburg 12 and South River 6. You're watching Central Jersey High School football on TKR Sports.
In the first half, Keansburg had a 1-yard touchdown run on a quarterback sneak by Tom Dora. and then Nick Knapp, who had a sensational half running the ball, and an 8-yard run, and Keansburg had a 2-touchdown lead. But as you mentioned, Jonathan Harris scored a long touchdown run of 54 yards to put his team on the board and have South River trail by only 6 at the half. Very little passing in the first half, and probably even less than that during the second half. The field conditions are getting worse and worse. It's getting cooler out there. It's getting muddier, and there's a constant rain out there. You figure if Keansburg somehow can muster up one more score in this second half, that should be enough to win this game, because you're not going to see a lot of scoring here with the weather conditions.
All right, second half ready to begin. Keansburg will kick it off. Again, want to apologize, folks, for my case of laryngitis. Hope you can bear with us here in the second half. I'll let Jeff do most of the talking. How about that?
He'll let me do it in the fourth. He'll let me do it in the fourth quarter after we can no longer read the numbers.
Keansburg with the long kick that Harris will pick up at the 3. Puts his knee down. Why would he do that? South River has the football at the 3-yard line. Did he think he was in the end zone, Jeff?
That's what I was thinking. There's only 2 possible things that could have happened. One, he thought he was in the end zone and would get it at the 20, and the other is he simply slipped. Either way, they still have 97 yards for pay dirt right now. And with these field conditions, it will not be easy. Of course, in the first half, Keansburg had it at the 3-yard line, and Knapp ran the ball 75 yards, so anything can happen.
So South River starts in the hole here in the second half. They have a first down and 10 at their own 3. They give us to Powell, and he's off of left tackle, and he picks up a couple. Chad Powell on the carry. It'll be a second down and about 8. Coming up across the 5-yard line to about the 6. Actually call it second down and 7. The ball marked right at the 7-yard line. Bobby Young is the quarterback for South River. He slips down, and he was fortunate to hang on to the ball.
And we're going to see a lot of that, I think. Field conditions taking control of this game. And you're right, you don't want to make any mistakes so close to your own end zone. Bobby Young slipping, kept possession of the ball. Now it'll be 3rd down and 11.
It started raining about 3 hours before kickoff, and it has rained steadily since then. A little snow mixed in as well. It's raw and wet out there. Tough day for a football game. Handoff goes to Powell. He's breaking tackles, and he has a first down. That was an outstanding run by the South River tailback.
Coming into that play, South River would be content just to pick up a couple yards and punt the ball away. But luckily for the Ram fans, Powell picks up enough to keep the drive going. And let's see that play again. It looked like a play that would get very little yardage, but Powell taking it to the outside, breaks 3 tackles, and then dives at the end to pick up the first down.
1st and 10, South River. Their own 17, Jonathan Harris. He has a nice run across the 20, and he slips down at about the 25-yard line. Kamal and also Fetter in on the tackle, but it's a pickup of 8. It brings up 2nd and 2. Chad Powell is banged up for South River. Now they just kind of pick him up. Bobby Young, quarterback, just goes over and picked him up out of the mud, and Powell seems to be okay. This is one of those games, Jeff, where you find mud on your body in every place imaginable. Here's the give to Harris. He jumps over a would-be tackler, and he should have enough for the first down. And it is a South River first down at the 28.
Here we're going to see it again, right there, as Lou mentioned, diving for the first down, the second first down on this drive. South River doing what they want to. They're certainly not going to have Young throw the ball because of the field conditions. They just have to run the ball and try and pick up first downs and try and get a score some way. They've already used 2.5 minutes on this drive.
1st and 10, South River, thrown 28. Handoff goes up the middle. Not much that time. Joe Young, the fullback, carries the football. Might have picked up a yard. They'll bring up a 2nd and 9. 9 minutes left, third quarter. And Keansburg leads 12-6 in the 1996 Group 1 championship game. I formation for South River. A flip to Harris. It's a fake reverse. Harris looks to get around right side. Dura pulls him down. A strong defensive play by Tom Dura.
Dura, from his safety position, makes a great tackle. You mentioned it before. An excellent quarterback who also plays defense and fields punts. He does it all for this team. And here we're going to see it again. The dangerous runner there, Harris, trying to break to the outside, makes it, but then Dora brings him down, throws him to the ground for no gain.
Brings up a 3rd and 10 for the Rams. They're at their own 29-yard line. Twin receivers come out to the left side as South River comes up in the I formation. Bobby Young gives the Powell, and he picks up maybe a yard or two. That's a tough play on a 3rd and 9.
Not only a tough play on a 3rd and 9, but a tough play 3rd and 9 in the mud. How are you going to possibly run the ball through that area of the field? You almost have to take it to the outside, and it's difficult to do that because the footing is not great there either. But up the middle, there's no grass. Luckily for Keansburg, this is their last home game of the year because this field is going to be destroyed at the end of this game.
The field is being decimated in between the 40-yard lines. It is pure mud. Young is punting. He kicks the ball. It bounces. Shea just dives on it. A wise play at the 40-yard line. So Keansburg will get the football at that point, leading 12-6 with a shade over 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, Lou. South River used almost 5 minutes on that first drive, picked up a couple first downs, but gave the ball back to Keansburg. With the lack of passing that we're going to see in this second half, we're going to see this second half move by rapidly.
1st and 10, Keansburg. At their own 40, Nick Knapp carries the ball. He picks up about 3 or 4. Good 4-yard gain, actually, for Knapp. It'll bring up 2nd and 6. Crowd is, which was fired up early, a little quiet right now. You got to think they're a little waterlogged at this point, Jeff.
They're waterlogged, they're cold, but they'll perk up in the fourth quarter if their homestanding Titans can keep this lead.
2nd down, 6. Kamal goes in motion out of the eye to give to Shea. Billy Shea is hit and dropped.
Shea on the carry.
Short pickup, might have picked up a yard or 2. Robert Perini, the right corner, was the first man to come in and hit him. Now it brings up a 3rd and 4.
And here we're going to see once again Billy Shea getting stopped at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. South River keying on him. He gets down low, but with the field conditions and all those people trying to bring him down, Shea picks up next to nothing and then limp back to the huddle. Not good news if you're the Keansburg basketball coach waiting for this game to end, hoping that your star forward will be ready to play hoops.
3rd down and 4 at the 46. Shea, the handoff. Billy Shea pushes the pile, struggles ahead. I don't think he got there, but we'll have to wait and see.
He needs to get about a foot past midfield, and if he doesn't, it would bring up 4th down and short, and that would be an interesting call as to whether Keansburg would punt or not. They're going to bring the chains onto the field. It's that close.
And the officials will bring the chain out. Let's see if Keansburg picked up the first down. They stretch out the chain, and they just got it by the nose of the football. It's a first down for the Titans.
Now the crowd is into it again. The offense imploring their fans to make some noise.
5.5 remaining third quarter. And Keansburg leads 12-6, trying to go undefeated and win a state championship. Hand off to Knapp. He's hit and picks up a couple. Chad Powell on the tackle. Well,
I was going to say, Lou, South River made some adjustments at halftime because Knapp is not picking up much yardage here in this half either. Here we're going to see Knapp, who's had some gaping holes several times in this game, stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Jeff, I was about to say, all those weeks of practice, starting in late August, early September, all those games throughout the season, and this is where it comes down to all this, playing in the mud on a December afternoon. Here's the hand to Shea, and very short yardage again. A little extra pushing and shoving. It'll bring up a 4th down. So this is what it all comes down to, Jeff. Playing in the mud and the pouring down rain, right?
Every year. And like I said before, we did the championship game last year between Highland Park and South River. And it wasn't raining, but it was 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it was freezing. And there's what we're talking about. Bill Shea running the ball, and great pursuit once again. 5 tacklers bringing him down.
Well, extracurricular activity on that play as well. Tom Dura is crunched. He is absolutely punished.
And John Schulteis thinking the way I am. This is a field position game right now. You don't want to take any risks right now. You want to punt the ball away. The Titans have the ball on South River's 44-yard line. They're going to try and punt the ball and pin South River back, force them to go as many yards as they possibly can to try and tie or go ahead in this football game.
And the Titans with the lead, that's the way you got to play this. Shea with a line drive kick. It bounces at the 25. You're going to have a roughing the kicker call against South River, and that'll give Keansburg an automatic 1st down.
There is, however, a flag.
It'll be a roughing the kicker call.
It's always a tough penalty because if you're on defense, you want to pressure the kicker. And as a matter of fact, we've had one kick blocked today. South River had a kick blocked in the 1st quarter. But you want to put pressure on them, but you can't run into the kicker and allow them to keep the drive going when you're going to get the ball back. This is a couple plays ago right there as Bill Shea taking a knee from William Pickett.
Now, you know, come on, Pickett. What kind of a play is that? You know, you hate to see that, Jeff.
Yeah, you really do. And after that, with this penalty here, South River would have had the ball back on a punt that dropped dead at the 23-yard line, but because of the penalty, the Titans keep possession and have 1st down on the 29-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 29. Keansburg gets a break on the roughing the kicker call. Full house backfield behind Dura. Man goes in motion. That's Fetter. Dura gives to Shea. Billy Shea with a nice hole, and he crashes across the 25 down near the 24-yard line.
Lowry on the stop.
And with 2.5 remaining 3rd quarter, Keansburg on the drive. Here it is.
Good run here by Billy Shea, one of his better runs on this ball game. 7 yards, 6 yards right up the middle.
It'll bring up a 2nd and 4 for Keansburg. And the ball is marked at the 23. Again, Titans come up with their full house backfield. Give this time to Knapp. Nick Knapp powers forward near the 20. Picks up maybe 2 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and a short 2. 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. And Keansburg leads 12-6.
Big defensive stop here for South River. They cannot allow Keansburg to go up by 2 scores. They must do their best to try and stop this play here and bring up 4th down.
Here's the give to Knapp. Nick Knapp is hit and wrapped, dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Very good defensive play for the Rams. It was Pickett who made the play. He penetrated, wrapped Knapp up, and it brings up a key play here, 4th down. Now with field conditions the way they are, Jeff, I don't think there's any way Keansburg can really consider kicking a field goal here.
No, they're at the 19-yard line. That would be a 36-yard field goal. Even under ideal conditions, it's a long boot for a high school kicker. But today, I think there's no thought of it whatsoever.
The Titans will go for it on 4th and about 3. Ball sits at about the 21. Twin receivers come to the right side. I formation for the Titans, and Dura barks out some signals. He gives to Knapp up the middle, and he's not going to get it. Keansburg's saying they got a 1st down. Didn't look like he got there, but now South River has held. South River takes over on downs. As Knapp picked up about 2, he needed 3.
The last time they picked up the 1st down by the head of the football. This time they're probably about a foot short. And we're going to see it once again, needing 3 yards on 4th down. Do you give it to Shea or do you give it to Knapp? Well, this time they give it to Knapp. And good defense there by the South River team, stopping Knapp about a foot short and picking up the ball.
1st and 10. At the 22. Harris C is hit and dropped. Initial hit made by Anthony Iacuzzi, and Jimmy Graham helped out as well.
That's going to end this quarter, Lou, and let's see this last play of the quarter. Nothing to be had except a loss here by South River. Good pursuit by the Titans.
And that was the last play of the 3rd quarter. There's 1 quarter of football left in the 1996 season. Keansburg leads South River 12-6. South River Young throws. It's a wounded duck at about the 23. Very hard to throw the football on a day like today. And it will bring up a 3rd down. Keansburg leads South River 12-6. A very hoarse Lou Brogno along with Jeff Kurtzman. Glad you could join us this afternoon. And the TKR Sports crew, especially our camera people, who are doing such an outstanding job in just horrendous conditions. Raining steadily throughout the game, a cold, raw December afternoon. Keansburg trying to nail down an undefeated season and state championship, but South River, there's something to say about that. Powell runs the football, but he is well short of 1st down yardage, and the Rams will have to kick.
And let's see this again. Needing 12 yards to pick up a 1st down. South River's content to keep it on the ground. Powell picks up a few yards, but as far as keeping the drive going.
It'll bring up a 4th down and 9, and South River will have to punt the football away. Again, Young comes up to the line of scrimmage, and obviously he's kicking, so he drops back. Shea and Dura are back at the 45-yard line. Good snap. It's a booming kick by Young. What a kick. It goes out of bounds.
A fine punt by Young under difficult conditions. The ball is out of bounds.
See where they mark it. The official still walking with it. And he brings it up to about the 48-yard line. So that's where Keansburg will put it in play. The Titans will start this drive at their own 48 with excellent field position. We're just underway here in the 4th quarter.
If you're Keansburg, all you want to do is keep from turning the ball over. There's been 3 turnovers in this game, 2 against South River, and Keansburg lost the ball by fumbling it once. You do not want to give good field position to South River, so even if somehow you can't run a 7, 8, 9, 10 play drive and go down and score, at least you just want to keep from turning the ball over.
McNabb carries the ball to about the 49-yard line. Well, South River has made some nice adjustments on Knapp here in the second half. First half, he ripped off a couple of outstanding runs, some long gainers, but this half, South River's been able to pin him in. So, got to give the South River coaching staff a great deal of credit, I think, Jeff, for making those halftime adjustments.
I agree. They've held Bill Shea down most of the game, and they have held Knapp down the second half. Of course, the mud on the field certainly has helped keep everybody down in this half, both sides, both ways. There's been very little offense since halftime.
Second down and about 9. Here's the give to Shea. Oh, he is hit hard, and he is dropped. He is really destroyed behind the line of scrimmage. That was the best hit of the afternoon.
And let's see this again. Bill Shea picks the football up, goes straight ahead, and gets taken down for no gain. And then 4 tacklers make sure he can't escape.
That might have been Pickett on the hit. It's getting very difficult to see those uniform numbers on South River. Those guys in the trenches, the defensive line, full of mud. Third down and 10. Bill Shea goes in motion. 9:20 left in the game. The throw to Iacuzi, the tight end. He breaks a couple of tackles and he has a Keansburg first down.
It's the same play they ran in the first half. Iacuzi getting the ball about a yard past the line of scrimmage and picks up a first down. The last time he needed 11 yards. This time he needed about 8, and he just dumps the ball off Dora getting to him. He breaks the tackle, gets down low, and picks up the first down. A big first down there for the Titans.
Did you see the rotation on that ball? It was almost thrown like you were flipping the ball. There had no rotation whatsoever.
Yeah, I was thinking of a knuckleball like in baseball.
Right, it's going to be very difficult to throw the ball. Dura did a great job. Penalty flag as Knapp goes across the line of scrimmage, but this one will go against the Titans. Watch the ball here, the rotation, or I should say lack of rotation, almost like a palm ball. Didn't really get a chance to throw it with his fingers. He just kind of shoved it out there to Iacuzi.
Make a good shot putter for the track team. But it worked, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. But now, 5-yard penalty against Keansburg will mark the Titans back to the 38-yard line, and it brings up a 1st and 15. Keansburg is thinking ball control, but one more score would certainly slam the lid, I think, on South River. Knapp runs over a couple of tacklers. Short pickup, maybe picks up a yard or 2.
And here we're going to see the play once again. Knapp getting the ball, not picking up much, but keeps the clock running by staying in bounds.
Gain of a couple sets up 2nd and 13 at the 37.
8 minutes and 10 seconds left. 4th quarter, Keansburg 12, South River 6. Titans have a 2nd down and about 13. Iacuzi, the tight end, in motion. I formation, and the give is to Shea. Bill Shea looks to get around right corner. He's ahead of the field, and a penalty flag is thrown on the play. That's probably Shea's best run of the afternoon, but this one most likely is coming back.
Chances are it was a hold on the offensive line, but we'll have to wait and see. Nope, a clip.
Clipping against Keansburg.
Either way, it comes back, and it negates a good run there by Shea. 2nd penalty on this drive.
Titans, their own worst enemy on this particular drive. They'll mark off big yardage this time against Keansburg.
Penalties against Keansburg.
Keansburg trying to go undefeated on the season and wrap up the Group 1 state championship.
Third year in a row they're in the state playoffs and looking for their second championship in those 3 years.
Already won their conference championship, of course, this year. It's been quite a run in athletics over the last couple of years for Keansburg. The baseball team, an outstanding run the last few years. The basketball team, of course, last year in the championship. The football team last few years has been in the playoffs just about every season. Dura started off in the shotgun. Now he comes up to the line of scrimmage and he runs a quarterback draw. He's hit hard and maybe picks up a yard or two.
Here we're going to see Dora stepping back a couple steps and then running the ball on the quarterback draw. Didn't pick up very much, and he's going to leave himself 17 yards on this third down if he wants to keep this drive going.
Bill Shea brings the play in from the sidelines. The ball is marked at about the 41-yard line of South River. Dura again starts off in the shotgun. Now comes up under center, looks to throw, rolls out, left side, fires, and Kamal is open. He makes a nice move at the 20, to the 10, the 5, touchdown Keansburg.
And that should be enough to propel Keansburg to the championship. Originally, I thought Iacuzi was going to be the intended receiver, but Kamal got wide open. Kamal at 5'6", 145 pounds, a senior wide receiver, pulls the ball down on a nicely thrown pass by Dora. Let's see this again. Dora rolling to his left, throwing it to the right, and then Kamal doing everything after that. Robert Perini had a chance, but slipped down, and then he had downfield blocking and an open field, and now Keansburg goes ahead 18-6 with 6:25 remaining here in the game.
And now, especially with these field conditions, Jeff, it'll take a miraculous comeback by South River, I feel, to come back and win this game. Keansburg will go for 2, leading 18-6. I formation. Dura looks to keep. He keeps it himself. He's in, but there's a penalty flag on the play. There's a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is. Probably against the Titans here. And it looks like illegal participation. Is that the call?
They'll bring this play back, and now Keansburg will have a lot longer to try and pick up these 2 points.
A couple things here in 50-50 number coming up. We've got a penalty against the Titans.
It'll be 5 yards. Bring the ball back to the 8-yard line.
I believe
Tom Dura getting into a shouting match with one of the South River players, and his teammates had to pull him away. Him and Robert Perini, the right corner for South River.
Dora at 5'7", 160, backs down to nobody.
Now the Keansburg quarterback brings the Titans up. They'll try again as they go for 2 from the 8-yard line. I formation, and Dura gives to Shea. Shea looks to turn the corner. He is in. 2-point conversion is successful. And that gives the Titans a 14-point lead. Here it is.
Here we're going to see it again after the penalty. Keansburg needing 8 yards to pick up the 2-point conversion. Shea on a sweep to the left side finally finds some open area about a yard before going out of bounds, takes it on in, and now Keansburg has a 20-6 lead with 6:25 remaining in this game.
And the Keansburg fans getting into it. Billy Shea playing cheerleader on the sideline, getting the fans fired up. They can smell it now. They're up by 2 touchdowns with 6:25 remaining. And let's state the obvious, Jeff. South River needs a couple of big plays to get back in this game.
And with the Keansburg defense and the condition of the field, I'd be very surprised if that happened.
South River came in 8-2. They had won 8 consecutive games after losing their first 2 of the season. Keansburg undefeated, and they have just ripped everyone all season long. We mentioned twice this year they scored more than 50 points. And they're trying to show everyone that this indeed was their year. Looking to hold on and go undefeated and win a state championship.
Only one game has been close all year long. The third game of the year against Red Bank Catholic, Keansburg won 18-13. Every other game was a blowout.
This is a tough play now for the Rams, looking to get a nice kickoff return, hit hard and dropped. Is Cologne. And South River will put it in play.
Out on the South River, 13-yard line.
Shy of the 20-yard line. I mean, he got back to about the 15.
And here we're going to see it again. South River needing a big play. Anthony Cologne could not handle the ball, let it drop, and then brings it out to about the 20-yard line. Good pursuit once again by the Titan defense.
First down, 10, South River. No, it's a reverse. Here comes Cologne. He's hit, dropped. Oh, what a defensive play by Anthony Iacuzzi. He has had a big game, both from the tight end slot and the defensive end slot as well.
Exactly. Iacuzzi with 2 big catches for first downs, and here with a big defensive play.
10 yards, sets up 2nd and 20.
10-yard loss, making South River's chore that much more difficult.
5:50 remaining. Clock is winding down. The ball is inside the 10. They mark it at about the 8-yard line. 2nd and 20. South River calls a timeout. There's a break in the action. 5:40 remaining, 4th quarter. It's Keansburg 20 and South River 6. South River.
In that game. 2nd and 20 Rams.
South River with a 2nd and 20, under 6 minutes left in the contest. Handoff off left tackle. Chad Powell trying to break one.
By Graham.
Taylor, for the people watching on their sofas in their heated house, they're wondering why on 2nd down and 20, less than 6 minutes to go, trailing by 2 touchdowns, South River didn't put the ball up in the air. It's simple. It's cold, it's wet, it's muddy. The opportunity was not there to really put the ball up in the air, and South River tried to break it on the ground. Right now, they're in a deep hole.
Bob Young, the quarterback, calls the play. He hands the ball off, nothing doing. He gives it to Jonathan Harris. He is absolutely crushed at about the 3-yard line. Again, it's that man, Iacuzzi, and he got help from Craig as well. So the Iacuzzi sandwich up on Harris at the 3.
And here we're going to see it again. Another passing situation, but they keep the ball on the ground. Once again, Iacuzzi and also number 6, Craig Iacuzzi and Anthony Iacuzzi with the tackle. Crowd starting to chant, we're number 1. The Keansburg crowd really into this game now.
4 minutes left in the game, and of course they can taste it here in Keansburg. It's a high kick. Dura just lets it bounce. It goes across the 50 to the 48, and it will drop dead there. Whoa, a little bit of a late hit. That's got to be a penalty. No flag.
Robert Perini knocking Dura on the ground. They were just letting the ball roll dead. There was no excuse for that.
I got to ask you, what are the officials looking at there?
I don't know.
3 minutes and 59 seconds.
And we're not taking sides, really. That's not what we're doing, folks. I mean, quite clearly, it could have been either team doing it. That's got to be a penalty.
And now watch this. The one official's calling the ball dead as Perini's knocking Dora down. No excuse for that.
Corner Red Hats defeated Long Branch 8-0. New College scores.
First down and 10, Keansburg.
At halftime. And in the third
Well,
quarter,
South River, a little frustration too. Down by 2 touchdowns. Dura carries the ball. Just does a little quarterback draw, or sneak actually, more appropriate. It's across the 50 to about the 48-yard line. Pickup of about 2. Clock is the ally of Keansburg, of course. It continues to roll with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Keansburg will use as much time as they possibly can, protect the ball, keep the ball on the ground, as John Schulteis is looking for that second championship in 3 years. What a great senior class he has here at Keansburg High School.
Billy Shea off tackle and into the secondary, carrying defenders with him. He's still on his feet. What a run by Shea.
And a penalty after the end of the play, and that's the Billy Shea that people had expected today, but the conditions and the great defense of South River slowed him down.
And I'll tell you what, the officials called the personal foul against South River, and that'll tack on some extra yards. You know, the Rams, they got to control themselves here. They're taking some cheap shots, and that's not what you want to see at this point in the game.
They're very frustrated. They lost to a team that was better than them. Keansburg has been on a juggernaut all year long, and they proved today that they're the Central Jersey Group 1 champions. And here you can see Shea's down on the ground, and a second or 2 later, they pile on him. That certainly should be a penalty.
I'll tell you what, though, that might have been one of the mildest things that we've seen compared to the other things that could have been called penalties. Timeout taken as Keansburg comes over to the sideline with 3:07 left. A break in the action. Keansburg 20, South River 6.
When you want to take your family and friends out for a satisfying meal, make sure you
Marshall Zucker, another one of our cameramen behind him. Keansburg looking to really drive the nail home here. They are inside the 10 with a 1st and goal. Out of the eye, Dura gives to Shea. Penalty marker. Billy Shea is hit, dropped.
Shea on the carry.
And the flag will probably be against Keansburg here.
On the stop flag on the play.
Another clipping penalty on Keansburg. Billy Shea didn't pick up any yardage on the play, but you still have to take the penalty and bring him back 10 yards.
South River really needs here is the ball. They need to figure out a way to get the ball.
Against Keansburg.
South River basically gave up because needing 18 yards on 2nd down, they ran the ball twice. Not that I feel that they could have passed the ball, but they realized that their plight was sealed when Paul Kamel scored that 3rd touchdown for Keansburg, and then they got the 2-point conversion by Shea, and Keansburg went up by 14 points. Under these conditions, there's no way they were coming back.
And the rain continues to fall. The handoff to Knapp, the fullback. And Chad Powell, who's played a very nice game for the Rams, comes up to make the tackle.
Picks up 4, 2nd and goal at the 23.
4-yard gain, 2nd down and goal from the 23-yard line here for the Titans.
And just want to mention, Jeff, that one of the ball people on the sideline. I want to thank the Keansburg concession people for helping me out with some tea and hot water today. Squeeze some lemon juice in there, get you through the game. Second down, Billy Shea.
Shea straight up the middle.
Hit hard and put down.
As we wind down under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes left in the game, and South River calls for a timeout. We'll keep it right here. That's been an interesting season. Keansburg.
Let's see this once again. Billy Shea, once again, unable to pick up a lot of yards as the middle of the defensive line keys on him once again.
You know, certainly it's hard to compare a Group 1 team with a Group 3 or 4, Jeff, but Keansburg certainly one of the top teams that I've seen this year. Balanced with great defense and outstanding offensive players as well. This is a ball club that was not going to be denied.
The only team in our viewing area that's going to be a state champion this year, a GMC team that's not in our viewing area, Carteret, won the championship today. A couple Skyland Conference teams not in our viewing area will be playing at the Meadowlands, Franklin, and Hillsborough. But as far as teams in our viewing area, Keansburg will be the champion.
Give the Shea, and he struggles for a couple of yards. 1 minute and 40 seconds left, and Keansburg will celebrate a state championship, and they will be partying in Titantown tonight.
On Main Street, as I was coming to this game, you saw a lot of signs, Go Titans, a lot of balloons, and a lot of people out in their yards cheering for this team.
And goal.
This game is on tape delay, of course. It'll be seen on Saturday night, so I'm sure you guys are watching right now, the Keansburg football team. As you celebrate your championship, there's movement, and he's fired up.
Doris played a great game. It's going to bring his team 5 yards closer to pay dirt, but the real pay dirt is 1 minute and 2 seconds from now when the clock hits 0.
Offside against South River, and they'll mark off 5 against the Rams. 1 minute, 2 seconds remaining here in this football game. Watch Dura now. Not quite sure what the delay is. There's a long delay here now. Keansburg comes up to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down. And now a whistle. So you'll probably have to delay a game against the Titans.
So they'll get back to 5 yards.
Well, Keansburg was trying to play clock there. They let the clock wind down to 34 seconds, and they took the penalty. Now the Keansburg fans get into it. They are 34 seconds away from a state championship and an undefeated season.
Look at that crowd, Lou. They're all here from Keansburg. The South River crowd has filed out, but nobody that came to root for Keansburg has left this game. They're waiting for these final 34 ticks, and then they're going to really go crazy as they get their second championship in 3 years.
Titans looking to go 11-0 on the year. Little pushing and shoving after the play. The clock will go over on downs to South River with 29 seconds left.
Rams out on their own 23-yard line. Again.
Two proud programs. South River, Lou, a team that has nothing to be ashamed of. As you mentioned a couple times in this telecast, they lost their first 2 games of the year, but they bounced back as they tried to defend their state championship. Unfortunately for them, they ran up against the team that's just a little bit better than they are in Keansburg, with South River with many championships under their belt. Made it to the finals this year, but South River just couldn't pull it off today.
Here is the pitch to Powell, He is hit and driven down. Actually, he drags a couple of tacklers with him. A nice run by Powell, who has no give up in him. It'll bring up a second down, but South River probably won't get this play off. We're down to 10 seconds left. Under 10 as they count it down. 5 seconds left. The Keansburg players are diving in the mud at the 50-yard line. I don't know if we can get a shot at that. They are diving in the mud. Keansburg has won the state championship. Diving in the mud. Well, that's one way to celebrate. The Titans go undefeated and win the state title.
A much-deserved state title. They played well every single game this year. They had an excellent offense. Their defense was stifling. John Schulteis had his team ready. Once again, congratulations to Keansburg on their state championship football team.
11-0 on the year. Central Jersey Group 1 champions. The final, Keansburg 20 and South River 6. South River had a heck of a season. They finished 8-3 after having reeled off 8 consecutive wins. They just come up short today on this miserable afternoon. But Keansburg, with a couple of big plays in the first half and then a big touchdown in the second half to seal it, wins the championship. A great win and a great year for the Titans. That'll do it from Keansburg. Congratulations to the Titans, Central Jersey Group 1 champs. For Jeff Kurtzman and everyone here at Channel 6 Sports who worked so hard all season long. And once again, here today under very bad weather conditions. I'm Lou Brogno, thanking you very much for joining us. Again, the final, Keansburg 20, South River 6. The Keansburg champs are the Keansburg Titans are state champs. They're champs, all right. Good night, everyone.